picture, you're rotating back, you're like, okay. This dude's got it, right? Like, there's no way he misses that. So you start creeping here. And then it's like, oh, I see my teammate right there. I could creep here. And if this guy misses it, I could cycle back. And then bam, bam, cut. Right? Like, but instead, like, you stack behind, like, a little bit more of a traditional rotation. And I feel like this is what's, I think overall it's a decent replay, though. I think where my brain's at is like, okay, like, Champ 3, how are we going to get to Grand Champ 2, Grand Champ 1? I feel like it's not max. Even though they're breaking down, I feel like overall, like, you have the max of a Grand Champ 1. Like, what I'm looking for, Dyer, is more plays like when you did this, I was just about to say this, and then you did it, and it's not like demo, it's just more play action plays, more plays that are making the opponents panic, whether it's through a demo or through, you know, mechanics, beating two players, you know, like play action, like threat generation. And then you did this, which is good. I feel like we need more of it, but I think there's something going on with game sense. It's almost like I want to see us take more than one player out of the game. Whether it is a challenge or, you know, a 50 and then a demo, like, just, that's not really advice, but like, it's kind of like what I want to see. You know, like, we beat one, and that was a net positive play for sure. It's like more net positive plays. Like, I feel like a lot of times we play the ball and it's just like, it doesn't really generate threat. We don't get scored on. It's just kind of like an equal play. But again, observation, not really advice. I'm trying to think on like how we could generate more threat. Like that was, I guess you're passing. Like maybe we need more solo play. I don't know. I don't think it's that. But like, this is what is kind of irking me. Like, we got to do something there. We got to do something here. Like, maybe it's like we got to take our time more, but like, the vibe I get from this replay is this is a solid Champ 3 replay. Like a solid Champ 3 replay. Nothing more, nothing less. Maybe we're behind the ball too much. Maybe that's why our impact is not. I actually feel like that's it. All right, Dyer, let me I will kind of debrief. We're gonna show examples. Not go crazy with it, but so I'm thinking like this is a solid Champ 3, nothing more, nothing less. Like, that's really what I would describe this. Like, not going crazy, but like you're not like panicking or sucking or anything. And I feel like we're not taking more than one player out of the game. We're not producing threat. We're not creating crazy offense. Like, we're not, there's nothing like putting you over the edge. And so like where my brain is like, how can we produce more threat? The easiest way to do it is demos. But like, that's just like minor advice. I'm not gonna like tell you to demo. I tell people to demo all the time unless it's like a really big issue. But demo's an easy way to produce threat. Like, we had that like 50-50 play into a demo that was really good before. But I think the real root as to why we're not producing as much threat is because our POV is constantly here. Either as a first man, a second man, or a third man. We're constantly having to play the ball this way instead of cutting or playing in front of the ball for like redirects or demos. And I feel like, you know, a couple things you could focus on is pushing out the mid boost, which is what I talked about with Loomis, but that was more so to fix his defensive rotation flow. You could focus on pushing out to mid boost, hard clearing down the field, just focusing your transitions, whether it's control or boom, just getting out right? Like the way to play forward is you need to get into the offensive half, rotate across the goal line, right? Like your basic rotations. But like we need more impact through, the simplest way to think about it is through cut rotation, redirects, demos. And I think we just need to push out a bit more, spend a little bit more time downfield or cutting. But I swear, like every time we play the ball, it's like we're behind it, like we're not cutting. Like we're behind the ball right now, right? Like yeah, we kind of cut that, but like we're cycling behind it. We're behind the ball. And this is good, like extension play. So like the first couple plays of the game, you were a little bit of a baby cut. Now we have like another cut, extension, redirect play, right? And like that's what scores, you know, behind the ball. So it's like picture, we'll just see, this is like hypothetical, right? I'm not saying do this, you could. Picture you're rotating back, you're like, okay. This dude's got it, right? Like there's no way he misses that. So you start creeping here. And then it's like, oh, I see my teammate right there. I could creep here. And if this guy misses it, I could cycle back. And then bam, bam, cut. Right? Like, but instead, like you stack behind like a little bit more of a traditional rotation. And I feel like this is what's lessening our impact on the field. It's like, let's position in the midfield a bit more. Let's position upfield a bit more for redirects. Let's demo, which demos help with positioning. And we could focus like our small pad rotations to stay central. That's always an easy fix. But if you're a cut and dry player and you're just like, oh, cut more, redirect more, do it, demo more, do it. Or you could focus a little bit more on these like rotations. But basically the problem we're trying to solve is stop. Like I would say like and we'll keep skipping through this replay, but this whole replay, 80%, 85% of the time you're behind the ball, maybe 10, 15% cuts. It's like, let's try to get that 50-50. Like example, like communism. Shouldn't say communism. Whoa. But Comm, right? Comm spends a ton of time downfield. And I'm not saying play like Comm, but Comm is like a downfield warrior. Okay? Retals is a downfield warrior. Like those players spend a ton of time in front of the ball. But I'm more so thinking for individual improvement. Like this replay, we need to create more threat. Let's do that by not being behind the ball so much. So that's how I stumbled across this, okay? That was good little cut, right? Get a little bit, just a little bit more baby cuts. Remember, it's not always like cut and dive at the ball and be a ball chaser. Like you still be smart, but reducing this. So we do. Be cut. Good. And obviously you're gonna play behind the ball, homie. Like I'm not saying like, I hope this makes sense. Like we're always like this. Always like this. Always like this. This is good. Did we cut? Not right there, but good. Oh, we could have cut right here, right? Be like, nah, get back. But I think like rotationally speaking, it's like you push out to mid, get central, track your pads, push out the corner, get across the goal line, track your pads, get central, look for your sidewall redirects, look for your midfield cuts, and look for your demos. Like I say demos all the time, but demos they have so many indirect ways of solving gameplay problems: positioning, rotation, speed, hesitation. It's crazy. I'd leave it there, man. It's not bad. Let's just simple cut, redirect, bang, boom.